Wealth. The word itself carries both hope and mystery. Everyone dreams of it, but only a few ever achieve it in a way that truly lasts. Too often, people chase quick wins, overnight successes, or fleeting opportunities, only to end up frustrated, broke, or stuck in the same cycle of scarcity. But lasting wealth, the kind that provides freedom, security, and fulfillment, is never built overnight. It is crafted step by step, with clarity, patience, and deliberate action. So let me ask you this. Are you ready to stop chasing illusions of wealth and instead commit yourself to building something real, something permanent, something that not only sustains you but also outlives you? This audiobook is not about tricks, shortcuts, or empty promises. It is about principles, the timeless laws of wealth that have worked for generations. And today you will begin walking that road. Because lasting wealth is not a dream reserved for the lucky few. It is a path you can choose to walk if you are willing to discipline your mind, take consistent action, and make bold but wise decisions. With that said, let's step into Chapter 1 and lay the first foundation stone on your road to lasting wealth. Chapter 1: Redefining Wealth for a New Life. Most people misunderstand wealth. They think it is only about money in the bank, flashy possessions, or the lifestyle you can display to others. But this shallow understanding of wealth is why so many people work hard yet never feel truly secure or fulfilled. True wealth is not about looking rich. True wealth is about being rich, in assets, in freedom, and in choices. To build lasting wealth, you must first redefine it for yourself. Wealth is freedom, not flash. Ask yourself, would you rather own a luxury car you can barely afford, or have the freedom to walk away from a job you hate because your investments pay your bills? The car may turn heads for a moment, but freedom will give you peace for a lifetime. Lasting wealth is about choice, the ability to decide where you live, how you work, who you spend time with, and what you do with your days. That kind of freedom is priceless, and money is only the tool that helps you achieve. The hidden trap of lifestyle inflation. The reason many people fail to build wealth is simple. Every time they earn more, they spend more. A raise at work turns into a bigger house, a nicer car, or fancier vacation. But while their income rises, their expenses rise just as fast, and they remain stuck in the same cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. If you want lasting wealth, you must resist this trap. Instead of asking, "What can I afford now?" start asking, "How much can I invest for later?" Wealth grows not from what you show but from what you keep. Assets versus liabilities. The core divide. Every purchase you make either moves you toward wealth, or away from it. Wealth builders understand the difference between assets and liability. Assets put money into your pocket. Investments, businesses, real estate, intellectual property. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. Loans, credit card debt, unnecessary luxuries. The path to lasting wealth is simple. Accumulate more assets than liability. The bigger your pool of income-generating assets, the more financial freedom you create. The mindset shift. From spender to builder. True wealth begins not in your wallet, but in your mind. If you see money only as something to be spent, it will always escape you. But if you see money as a seed, something that can be planted, nurtured, and grown into abundance, you begin the shift from spender to builder. Ask yourself, do I want this money to vanish in a purchase today? Or do I want it to grow into something that will support me for years? The wealthy do not simply earn more money. They think differently about money. They see every dollar as an employee working for them, and they put those employees to work in investments. Wealth requires patience and consistency. The biggest lie about wealth is that it happens fast. Lasting wealth is always the result of time and discipline. A small investment, consistently added to, becomes a fortune. A smart business, nurtured year after year, becomes an empire. The impatient chase shortcuts and lose it all. The patient build step by step, and one day realize they've created something permanent, building wealth that outlives you. The final piece of redefining wealth is legacy. Lasting wealth is not just about living well during your own lifetime. It's about creating something that will benefit your children, your grandchildren, and even your community. When you think beyond yourself, you make smarter decisions. You stop chasing temporary thrills and start building enduring structures, trusts, businesses, properties and investments that continue to grow long after you are gone. Dakshi. Chapter 1 leaves you with this truth. Wealth is not about appearances, possessions or quick win. It is about freedom, assets, patience and legacy. If you can redefine wealth this way, you are ready to walk the road that leads to it. Chapter 2. The Wealth Mindset. Building the foundation within. Before you can hold lasting wealth in your hands, you must first hold it in your mind. Wealth begins not with dollars, assets or investments, but with thought patterns, beliefs and decisions. If your mindset about money is broken, no matter how much you earn, you will lose it. But if your mindset is strong, you can start with little and build an empire. This is why the wealthiest individuals throughout history, from industrialists like Andrew Carnegie to modern entrepreneurs like Warren Buffett, emphasize the psychology of money as much as the mechanics of money. Let's break down the key pillars of a wealth mindset and how you can train yourself to think like the wealthy do. Scarcity versus abundance thinking. Most people are trapped in a scarcity mindset. They see money as limited, success as rare, and opportunities as reserved for others. Scarcity thinking breeds fear. Fear of losing, fear of missing out, fear of never having enough. Wealth builders, however, operate from an abundance mindset. They see opportunities everywhere. They understand that wealth can be created, expanded, and multiplied. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," they ask, "How can I create the resources to afford it?" Your first step to lasting wealth is to break free from scarcity and embrace abundance. Abundance doesn't mean reckless optimism. It means choosing solutions over excuses. Delayed gratification. The secret of the wealthy. The ability to delay gratification separates the wealthy from the struggling. Most people trade long-term freedom for short-term pleasure. They spend their money on instant thrills, the latest gadgets, luxury clothes, or endless entertainment. The wealthy play a different game. They are willing to sacrifice now for greater rewards later. Instead of buying liabilities, they invest. Instead of upgrading their lifestyle at every opportunity, they reinvest their profit. Here's the rule. If you can delay gratification today, you multiply your wealth tomorrow. Des 3. Money as a tool, not a master. Many people are enslaved by money without even realizing it. They work jobs they hate, take on debts they can't handle, and make decisions based purely on financial survival. To them, money is the master. The wealthy flip this dynamic. They treat money as a tool. Just like a hammer builds a house, money builds freedom, opportunities and impact. When you begin to see money not as something to chase but as something to use with purpose, you reclaim your power. Ask yourself, am I serving money, or is money serving me? Des 4. The power of financial identity. Your identity shapes your financial destiny. If you see yourself as someone who is bad with money, you will unconsciously sabotage yourself. If you believe wealth is for other people, not people like me, you will never allow yourself to pursue it fully. Wealthy individuals hold empowering identity. They see themselves as builders, creators, investors, and leaders. They expect to handle money wisely, to grow it, and to multiply it. Change your financial identity, and your actions will naturally align with it. Start affirming, I am someone who grows wealth. I am disciplined with money. I deserve financial freedom. Des 5. Resilience in the face of setbacks. Every wealth journey comes with setbacks. Failed investments, bad business deals, market crashes, unexpected expenses. Those with a fragile mindset quit after the first failure. They say, this isn't for me, I'll never succeed. But those with a wealth mindset see setbacks as lessons, not losses. They analyze what went wrong, adjust and keep moving forward. They understand that wealth is not built by perfection, but by persistence. Think about it. Every wealthy individual has a story of failure. The only reason they are wealthy today is because they refuse to quit. There's force. Their discipline of consistency. Mindset is not just about belief. It is about discipline. The wealthy know that success comes from small actions, repeated consistently over time, saving monthly, investing regularly, reinvesting profits, learning constantly. These habits compound into massive results. Most people fail not because the strategy was wrong, but because they lacked consistency. They got impatient, distracted, or discouraged. Wealth builders keep showing up, even when progress seems invisible. Remember, consistency beats intensity. A small, steady contribution over years beats a short-lived burst of effort. Shifting from consumer to producer. Here is one of the most powerful mindset shifts. The poor think like consumers, while the wealthy think like producers. Consumers focus on buying, owning and using. Producers focus on creating, selling and multiplying. Consumers ask, what can I get? Producers ask, what can I build that others will pay for? Every wealthy individual has mastered the art of producing, whether it's creating businesses, services, investments, or intellectual property. If you want lasting wealth, you must shift from only consuming to consistently producing. Force. Gratitude and generosity as multipliers. Finally, the wealth mindset is not just about taking, it is also about giving. Many wealthy individuals practice gratitude and generosity as core principles. Gratitude keeps you grounded, preventing greed and dissatisfaction. Generosity opens the flow of wealth, as what you give often returns multiplied. This doesn't mean reckless giving. It means strategic generosity, supporting causes you believe in, helping others grow, and contributing to something bigger than yourself. True wealth is never hoarded. It flows. Key takeaway. Wealth is not built by luck, but by mindset. A wealth mindset is rooted in abundance, patience, resilience, discipline, production, and purpose. If Chapter 1 redefined what wealth truly means, Chapter 2 builds the mental foundation that will support everything you do on your road to lasting wealth. Chapter 3. Building multiple streams of wealth. Once your mindset is prepared, the next step is action. And that means building multiple streams of wealth. The truth is simple, relying on a single source of income is dangerous. Salaries can be cut. Businesses can collapse. Economies can shift overnight. The wealthy understand this, which is why they do not depend on one stream. They build several. Each stream supports the others, creating a financial safety net and multiplying opportunities. This chapter will guide you through the principles of diversifying your wealth, the types of streams available, and how to practically build them into your life. 1. Why multiple streams are essential. Imagine a river that flows only from one source. If that source dries up, the river disappears. But if the river is fed by many streams, it will keep flowing even if one runs dry. Your income works the same way. Depending on one paycheck, one business or one investment is risky. But having multiple income sources ensures stability, growth and freedom. The wealthy do not ask, "How can I earn enough to survive?" They ask, "How can I create systems that pay me, even when I am not working?" The METU, active versus passive streams. There are two categories of income streams. Example, salary, freelance projects, consulting, small business operations. Active income requires your time. Passive income, money that continues to flow with little to no daily effort. Example, investments, royalties, rental properties, automated businesses. Passive income builds freedom. The wealthy start with active streams, but quickly reinvest them. To create passive streams, the goal is always the same. Shift from working for money to having money work for you. The first stream, your core skill or profession. Your first reliable stream of wealth usually comes from your main profession, skill, or business. This is where discipline matters most. Instead of merely surviving off it, treat it as a foundation for building more. If you're in a career, climb with strategy, increase your value and negotiate pay. If you run a business, reinvest profits wisely, systemize operations, and avoid lifestyle inflation. If you freelance, expand your expertise, charge more for value and diversify clients. Your primary stream funds the creation of others. 4. The investment stream, making money work. The wealthy never stop at active income. They put their money to work through investments. Stock market, buying shares in strong companies. Long-term wealth is built by holding, not guessing. Real estate, rental income, property appreciation, land investments. Real estate is tangible and often inflation-proof. Bonds and index funds, lower risk vehicles for steady growth. Private investments, startups, businesses or partnerships that can yield big returns. The mindset shift, never let your money sit idle. Every dollar is an employee, put it to work. Fourth, the business stream, creating systems that scale. Many wealthy individuals reach freedom through business ownership. A business has the potential to generate revenue far beyond what a single person can earn through labor. The key difference between a small hustle and a wealth-building business is systems. If a business depends on your daily presence, it is just another job. But if it is systemized, automated and scalable, it becomes a wealth stream. Examples, the knowledge stream, earning through expertise. In today's world, knowledge is currency. People pay for information, guidance, and solutions. Wealth builders monetize their expertise. This is why many self-made millionaires leverage intellectual property. 7. Real estate wealth, a proven strategy. Real estate deserves its own focus because it has built more millionaires than almost any other vehicle. A well-chosen property can provide cash flow from rental income, appreciation as property values rise, leverage by using other people's money, our mortgages to grow faster, tax advantages that protect wealth. The wealthy often combine real estate with other streams for maximum stability. 8. Digital assets and the modern wealth era. We live in the digital age, where digital assets are as powerful as physical ones. Websites, apps, YouTube channels and social media pages can all generate income through ads, sponsorships, and products. Unlike traditional assets, digital ones can scale globally with little cost. A single digital product can be sold to thousands worldwide. Wealth builders recognize this and embrace technology. 9. The snowball effect of multiple streams. Each income stream feeds the next. For example, your job funds investments. Investments produce dividends. Dividends fund real estate. Real estate cash flow builds businesses. Businesses create more cash to expand investments. Over time, your wealth snowballs. Instead of relying on one fragile stream, you build a powerful network of flows. Avoiding overstretch. Building strategically. A warning. Trying to build too many streams at once can scatter your focus and cause failure. The wealthy build strategically. Strengthen your core income. Reinvest into one additional stream. One stable. Build the next. Repeat until you have diversity and security. Wealth is not built overnight. It is layered. 11. Examples of wealth builders. Oprah Winfrey started with media, expanded into businesses, brands and philanthropy. Jeff Bezos began with one online bookstore, then expanded into cloud computing, logistics, and beyond. The pattern is always the same. Start with one strong stream, then multiply. Your wealth map exercise. Take a moment and map out your current income streams, potential streams you can build, or which ones you can realistically pursue in the next 12 months. Write this down and treat it like a blueprint. Wealth without a plan is a dream. Wealth with a plan becomes inevitable. Key takeaway: the road to lasting wealth is not about relying on a single paycheck. It's about building a network of income streams that work together, support each other, and grow over time. With the right mindset, discipline, and strategy, you can build streams that turn into rivers, rivers that turn into oceans, and eventually, wealth that lasts for generations. Chapter 4. Mastering the Art of Saving and Smart Spending. If building wealth is like constructing a house, then saving and smart spending are the foundation. Without them, no matter how much you earn, your wealth will eventually collapse. Earning more is important, but keeping and growing what you earn is even more critical. Most people believe they don't have enough to save, but the truth is this: even a small income can build lasting wealth if managed wisely. Wealth is not built by how much passes through your hands, but by how much you keep, grow, and protect. This chapter will take you deep into the psychology of saving, practical systems for managing money, strategies for cutting unnecessary expenses, and methods the wealthy use to control spending while still living well. Why saving comes before investing. Many people rush into investing without first developing the habit of saving. This is like trying to build a second floor when the foundation hasn't set. Saving gives you freedom, the ability to seize opportunities without panic, confidence, knowing you are in control of your money. Investing builds wealth, but saving protects it. Without savings, even great investments can crumble under the weight of unexpected expenses. The psychology of saving. Saving isn't just about numbers. It's about discipline and mindset. People who struggle to save often see money as something to spend, rather than something to keep. The wealthy, however, view money as a resource to be multiplied. Consider two people earning the same income. One spends freely on temporary pleasures, the other saves with intention. After 5 years, one has nothing but memories, the other has security, investments, and options. That difference isn't luck, it's habit. Ask yourself, do I control my money, or does my money control me? The 50-30-20 rule. A simple framework. One of the most effective saving systems is the 50-30-20 method. 50% needs, rent, utilities, groceries, transport. 30% wants, entertainment, dining out. 20% savings and investments, emergency fund, retirement accounts, investments. This system ensures you always allocate a portion of income toward building wealth. Even if your income grows, the habit of automatically saving remains intact. 4. Automating savings. Pay yourself first. The wealthy don't rely on willpower to save. They use systems. One powerful rule is, pay yourself first. Instead of saving whatever remains after spending, you reverse the order. Dedicate a fixed percentage to savings immediately after income arrives. Treat savings like a bill you cannot skip. Spend only what remains. This single shift transforms saving from a struggle into a natural habit. 5. The emergency fund. Your first line of defense. Before chasing big investments, build an emergency fund. This is a savings account with 3-6 months of essential expenses. Why is this crucial? Life is unpredictable. Job losses, medical bills, unexpected repairs. Without a cushion, emergencies force people into debt. With a cushion, emergencies are inconveniences, not disasters. An emergency fund gives you peace of mind and protects your long-term wealth-building journey. 6. Smart spending. The hidden key to wealth. Wealth is not about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep. Many high earners stay broke because they spend recklessly. Meanwhile, modest earners grow wealthy through disciplined spending. Smart spending means asking yourself before every purchase, do I need this or do I want this? Will this bring me lasting value or only momentary pleasure? Is this aligned with my financial goal? The wealthy don't avoid spending, but they spend with purpose. 7. Avoiding lifestyle inflation. One of the greatest traps in wealth building is lifestyle inflation. The tendency to increase spending whenever income rises. For example, someone earns $3,000 a month and spend when they get a raise to $5,000. Instead of saving the extra, they increase their expenses to $4,800 debt. The cycle repeats, and they remain trapped. The wealthy resist this trap by maintaining a modest lifestyle even as income grows, increasing savings and investments instead of expenses, rewarding themselves occasionally, but never at the expense of long-term goals. Remember, more money is useless if your habits remain the same. Eat. The minimalism principle. Owning less, living more. Minimalism is not about deprivation. It's about focus. The wealthy often adopt minimalist habits because they understand that clutter drains both money and energy. Practical applications. Buy fewer but higher quality items. Cut subscriptions and memberships you rarely use. Reduce impulse purchases by waiting 24 hours before buying. Focus spending on experiences that bring joy and memories, not on objects that quickly lose value. Minimalism in spending leads to maximum growth in wealth. 9. Debt management. The wealth killer. Saving is impossible if debt consumes your income. High-interest debt, like credit cards, keeps millions trapped in financial chains. Strategies to escape. Eat. Snowball method. Pay off the smallest debt first to gain momentum. Avalanche method. Pay off the highest interest debt first to save money. Avoid new debt. Cut credit card use. Live below your means and delay gratification. Wealth cannot grow in chains. The wealthy either avoid bad debt entirely or use good debt, like mortgages or business loans, as leverage for growth. 10. Conscious consumption versus impulsive spending. The average consumer buys emotionally and regrets later. The wealthy, however, buy intentionally. Before spending, ask, am I buying this because I need it, or because of advertising pressure? Will this purchase increase in value or decrease? Could this money work better elsewhere? Developing awareness around spending protects you from financial traps. 11. Case study. The modest millionaire. Consider Grace, a teacher earning a modest income while her colleagues lived paycheck to paycheck. She adopted disciplined saving and smart spending. She lived below her means, saved 20% of her income consistently, avoided unnecessary debt, invested steadily over 30. Grace retired a millionaire, not because she earned more, but because she managed what she earned with wisdom. 12. Turning saving into investing. Saving money alone will not make you rich. Inflation eats away at idle cash. The purpose of saving is to prepare you for investing. Once your emergency fund is secure, every additional dollar should be redirected into growth vehicles like stocks, real estate, or businesses. The wealthy use saving as the first step, not the final step. Key takeaway. Wealth is not built by earning more, but by mastering the art of saving and spending wisely, by developing disciplined habits, resisting lifestyle inflation, and directing savings into investments. You lay down the strongest foundation for lasting wealth. Chapter 5. Building Wealth Through Strategic Investing. If saving is the foundation of wealth, investing is the engine that drives growth. Saving protects you, but investing multiplies what you already have. The wealthiest people in history did not rely solely on saving. They mastered the art of putting their money to work. This chapter is about shifting from being a saver to becoming an investor, someone who understands risk, thinks long-term, and uses strategy to create lasting prosperity. Why investing is non-negotiable. Imagine saving $500 every month for 30 years. You'd end up with $180,000. Now imagine investing the same amount with a 7% annual return. In 30 years, you'd have over $600,000. The difference is not in the effort, it's in the strategy. The wealthy understand that inflation erodes the value of idle cash. What you can buy for $100 a day may cost $100 a decade from now. Investing ensures that your money grows faster than inflation, preserving and expanding your purchasing power. 2. The investor's mindset. Patience over speed. Successful investing is not about chasing quick wins. It's about delayed gratification and compounding. The greatest investors, from Warren Buffett to Ray Dalio, built their fortune slowly but steadily. The mindset you need is this. Think decades, not days. Focus on consistency, not luck. Embrace boring strategies over exciting risks. Patience turns modest investments into empires. 3. Understanding risk and reward. Every investment carries risk. The goal is not to avoid risk, but to manage it intelligently. Low risk, low return. Savings accounts, bonds, certificates of deposit. Medium risk, medium return. Index funds, mutual funds, ETFs. High risk, high return. Stocks, real estate flips, startups, crypto. The wealthy diversify across levels, ensuring they balance safety with growth. Thermodon. The power of compounding. Albert Einstein once called compounding the eighth wonder of the world. Compounding happens when your returns generate their own return. Example. Year 1. You invest $1,000 and earn 10%. You now have $1,100. Year 2. You earn 10% again, not just on $1,000, but on $1,100. Now you have 12 and 10 depending. Over decades, this snowball effect creates exponential growth. The earlier you start, the more powerful compounding becomes. Time is your most valuable asset. 5. Stock market strategies. The stock market has created more millionaires than any other platform. Yet many fear it because they don't understand it. Practical strategies. Index fund investing. Instead of picking individual stocks, invest in a broad index like the S&P. Historically, it has returned around 7–10% annually. Dollar cost averaging. Invest a fixed amount regularly, regardless of market condition. This reduces emotional decision-making and smooths out volatility. Long-term. Focus. Don't obsess over daily fluctuations. Think years, even decades. Wealth is built by holding, not trading. Real estate as a wealth builder. Real estate remains a favorite for wealth creation because it combines cash flow, appreciation, and leverage. Forms of real estate investing. Rental properties. Generate steady monthly income. Commercial real estate. Higher returns, but requires more capital. Real estate investment trusts. REITs. Allow small investors to own shares of property portfolios. Key principle. Property not only provides income but also increases in value over time. Business and entrepreneurship. Many of the wealthiest individuals didn't just invest, they built businesses. A business can generate far higher returns than traditional investments if executed well. Advantages: unlimited income potential, tax benefit, opportunity to create assets that outlive you. But entrepreneurship comes with high risk. That's why successful entrepreneurs often diversify their profits into safer investments once their business succeeds. Diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. The wealthy never rely on one investment stream. Diversification protects against loss while ensuring steady growth. A strong portfolio may include 40% stocks or index funds, 20% bonds or fixed income, 20% real estate, 10% business ventures, 10% cash reserves or alternative investments. Diversification spreads risk and creates stability. The role of financial advisors. Not everyone has the time or knowledge to manage complex portfolios. The wealthy often hire financial advisors to guide them. But beware, not all advisors have your best interest at heart. Tips. Look for fiduciary advisors who are legally bound to act in your best interest. Avoid commission-based advisors who earn money from selling you products. Always keep learning so you can question and understand advice given. Emotional discipline in investing. The biggest threat to your investments is not the market. It's your emotions. Fear and greed cause people to sell too soon or buy too late. To avoid this, stick to your plan regardless of market panic. Avoid chasing hot tips or trends. Remember, markets always fluctuate, but disciplined investors win long term. 11. Investing in yourself. Perhaps the most overlooked investment is self-investment. Skills, knowledge, and health are assets that compound over time. Take courses that increase your earning potential. Invest in health. Your body is your greatest wealth-building tool. Build strong networks that open doors to opportunities. Unlike markets, the return on self-investment is limitless. Case study. The patient investor. Consider John, who invested $500 monthly into an index fund from age 25 to 55. Without chasing trends, he accumulated over $600,000 by retirement. Compare that to Mark, who tried to time the market, jumping in and out based on fear. After 30 years, Mark had less than $300,000. The lesson: discipline beats excitement. Key insight: wealth is built not by saving alone, but by strategically investing, managing risk, and letting time and compounding work in your favor. The earlier you begin, the greater the rewards. Chapter 6. Accelerating wealth. From steady growth to explosive prosperity. By now you understand the power of saving, investing, and compounding. These are the cornerstones of wealth. But there comes a point when slow, steady growth is not enough. The difference between those who are comfortable and those who achieve lasting, generational wealth is that the latter learn how to accelerate growth strategically. This chapter is about moving beyond safety and into mastery, learning how to scale income, leverage assets, minimize losses, and create unstoppable momentum. The shift from stability to expansion. Wealth building has two phases. A stability phase, where you focus on saving, discipline, and consistent investing. Expansion phase, where you build systems that multiply wealth far faster than linear growth. Most people stay stuck in stability. The wealthy dare to push into expansion, but they do so with strategy, not recklessness. 2. Multiple streams of income. One job or one business is not enough. True wealth requires diversification of income sources. Types of income stream: licensing and intellectual property. Creating once, earning forever. The goal is to create income streams that don't rely solely on your time. 3. Leveraging other people's money. OPM. The wealthy understand that they don't need to rely only on their own capital. They use credit, loans and investor funding wisely to multiply their opportunities. Examples: raising a mortgage to control a $500,000 property with only $50,000 down, raising investor capital to scale a profitable business, leveraging credit lines to purchase cash-flowing assets. The principle is simple. Use money to buy time and scale faster. But this requires strict discipline. Bad debt destroys, while strategic debt accelerates. For tax efficiency, the wealth secret nobody talks about. The wealthy don't just make money. They keep more of what they earn through legal tax strategies. Tactics include capital gains treatment. Long-term investments are taxed less than income. Real estate depreciation. Paper deductions that reduce taxes while properties appreciate. Retirement accounts and trusts protect wealth across generations. The average person focuses on income. The wealthy focus on after-tax income. 5. The power of leverage beyond money. Leverage isn't only financial. It's also people, systems and technology. People. Hiring talent allows you to scale far beyond your own capabilities. Systems. Automating workflows reduces costs and error. Technology. AI. Digital platforms and tools allow you to reach millions at minimal cost. The wealthiest individuals don't work harder. They design systems that work harder for them. 6. Scaling a business into an asset. A job pays you while you work. A business pays you while others work. But a scalable business becomes an asset that grows even when you sleep. Steps to scale. AC. Build repeatable systems. Hire and delegate effectively. Automate with technology. Expand markets geographically or digitally. Eventually step back and let leadership run it. At this point, your business is not just income. It's an appreciating sellable asset. 7. Real estate at scale. Owning one rental property is good. Owning 10 is transformative. Scaling real estate evolves reinvesting rental profits into new properties, using property equity to finance additional purchases, building portfolios that generate consistent cash flow across markets. Sophisticated investors even create real estate funds to pool capital from others. Advanced investment strategies. Once your foundation is strong, advanced strategies can push you further. AC. Private equity and venture capital. Investing in early-stage businesses. Hedge funds. Using advanced financial instruments to hedge and amplify returns. Alternative assets. Gold, crypto, fine art, collectibles. These carry risk but with knowledge can deliver life-changing returns. 9. The wealth flywheel effect. Wealth has a compounding cycle known as the flywheel. Income grows, investments produce cash flow. Cash flow is reinvested, wealth accelerates. Once the flywheel starts, it becomes harder to stop than to continue. The secret is discipline during the early, slower years. The psychological traps of rapid wealth growth. The faster your wealth grows, the more dangerous emotions become. Overconfidence, believing every decision will succeed. Lifestyle inflation, spending faster than you grow. Impatience, chasing shortcuts instead of sticking to strategy. Many millionaires go broke because they forgot that discipline must grow alongside income. 11. Building generational wealth. Wealth is not complete until it survives you. Building for future generations means establishing trusts and wills to protect assets, teaching children financial literacy, creating businesses or foundations that last beyond your lifetime. True wealth is not measured only by what you earn, but by what you leave behind. Case study: The Wealth Accelerator. Maria started as a corporate employee, saving and investing consistently. At 35, she bought her first rental property. By reinvesting profits, she owned 5 by 40. At 45, she built an online business that scaled to millions annually. She diversified profits into index funds and trusts. By 50, she not only achieved financial freedom, but also secured her family for generations. Her story illustrates that wealth acceleration is about layering strategies, each one amplifying the last. Key insight: stability builds wealth slowly. Acceleration multiplies it exponentially through multiple income streams, leverage, tax efficiency, scalable businesses, and generational planning. You create wealth that grows faster than you can spend it and lasts longer than your lifetime. Chapter 7. Mastering Financial Independence, Freedom Beyond Money. Wealth without freedom is just another form of slavery. Many people spend their lives accumulating money, but never reach true independence, because their wealth is tied to jobs, markets, or unsustainable lifestyles. Financial independence means your money works harder than you do. It means you wake up each day knowing that your lifestyle is secured by assets, not by a paycheck. It's not simply about having millions in the bank. It's about designing a system that sustains you for life. What financial independence truly means. Most people think financial independence is about retiring early. That's only part of it. True independence includes freedom of time, choosing how you spend your days; freedom of choice, deciding where and with whom you live and work; freedom from worry, knowing that emergencies won't derail you. That's freedom to pursue meaning, focusing on purpose, not survival. Without these, even millionaires can feel trapped. Do the numbers game. How much is enough? Financial independence is not about a magic number. It's about coverage. The formula is simple. A monthly expenses × 12 × years you want secured. Example: if your lifestyle costs $5,000 per month, $60,000 per year, and you want 30 years secured, you'd need at least 1.8 million in productive assets. But the wealthy go further. They don't just save for years, they build assets that grow faster than inflation. The rule of thumb is the 4% withdrawal rule. If your portfolio allows you to withdraw 4% annually without depleting the principal, you've reached independence. 3. Designing your independence blueprint. Reaching independence requires intentional design, not guesswork. A strong blueprint includes C. Eliminating high-interest debt, lowering fixed expenses. The less you need, the less you must generate. Building passive income streams, investing in growth assets, creating an emergency buffer. This plan turns dreams into predictable timelines. Passive income as the cornerstone. Passive income is not magic. It's the result of assets generating cash flow. Real estate, rentals, REITs, property funds, dividends, stocks that pay consistent returns, digital assets, ebooks, online courses, subscription models, licensing, music, patents, intellectual property. The wealthy aim to cover their entire lifestyle with passive income. When your passive income surpasses expenses, you're free, escaping the trap of lifestyle inflation. One of the biggest killers of financial freedom is lifestyle creep, spending more as you earn more. Independence comes faster when you maintain discipline. For example, if you earn $100,000 but spend $90,000, freedom is decades away. If you earn $100,000 but live on $50,000, you can achieve independence in half the time. The wealthy often live below their means, even when they don't have to. It's not deprivation. It's wealth protection. Guarding what you've built. Freedom can vanish overnight without protection. Smart wealth builders create safety nets. Insurance, health, life, disability and asset protection. Diversification. Never rely on a single asset class. Legal structures, trusts, LLCs and corporations, to shield from lawsuits. liquidity buffers, cash reserves for crises. Building wealth is hard. Protecting it is harder, but essential. 7. The mindset of financial freedom. Money alone does not free you. Mindset does. Many people who retire early fall into despair because they lack purpose. Freedom is not about doing nothing. It's about choosing meaningful pursuits. Some travel the world. Some mentor the next generation. Some build businesses, not for money, but for impact. True wealth gives you the power to say no to anything that doesn't align with your values. 8. Redefining work. From obligation to creation. One of the great paradoxes is that once people no longer need to work, they often choose that the work changes. Instead of working for survival, they work for expression. Instead of obeying, they create. Instead of trading hours for dollars, they leverage influence, ideas, and impact. Financial independence doesn't end work, it transforms it. The role of minimalism and intentional living. Independence is not only about abundance, it's also about clarity. Simplifying your lifestyle reduces stress, expenses, and distractions. Minimalism doesn't mean poverty. It means freedom from clutter and excess. Owning fewer things means fewer worries. Spending consciously means greater appreciation. Living with purpose means less chasing, more experiencing. Some of the wealthiest people in the world live surprisingly simple lives because they understand that joy is not tied to possession. 10. Case study. The Freedom Architect. James was a corporate lawyer, earning $250,000 per year, but felt trapped. He cut his lifestyle costs from $200,000 annually to $80,000 by downsizing and eliminating debt. He invested aggressively in index funds and rental real estate. Within 10 years, his passive income streams surpassed his expenses. At 45, he left his job not to retire, but to build a non-profit supporting young entrepreneurs. James's story shows that financial freedom is not about stopping. It's about redirecting your energy toward purpose. The long-term perspective. Independence is not a finish line. It's a continuum. You will evolve, your goals will shift, and your definition of freedom will change. But the core remains. Your life is no longer dictated by financial necessity. Key insight. Financial independence is not just money in the bank. It is freedom of time, choice, and purpose. It's about building systems that sustain you for life, protecting them, and using them to live meaningfully. Chapter 8. From Independence to Influence. Using wealth for legacy. Achieving financial independence is not the end of the journey. It's the doorway to something greater. Once your money works for you, once survival and security are no longer constant worries, a new question arises. What will you do with your freedom? The answer to this question defines not only the legacy you leave, but also the quality of life you experience from this point forward. In this chapter, we will explore how to expand wealth beyond personal comfort into influence, contribution, and generational impact. 1. The shift from success to significance. For most people, wealth begins with the pursuit of success, earning more, saving more, building assets. But after independence, a deeper need emerges: significance. Success is about you, your goals, your comfort, your independence. Significance is about others, what you build, who you impact, and how you'll be remembered. This is the natural evolution of wealth. Once your needs are covered, the greatest return on investment comes from investing in people, ideas, and causes that outlive you. 2. The power of influence. Wealth amplifies your voice. It allows you to strike industries through investments, shape communities through philanthropy, shape the next generation through mentorship. Influence is not just about being known. It's about being heard where it matters most. Financial independence gives you the bandwidth to engage in policy, innovation, and social change without being enslaved to a paycheck. 3. Building a generational legacy. True wealth builders don't stop with their lifetime. They think generationally. The 3 dimensions of legacy: financial legacy, assets, businesses and trusts that sustain your family; educational legacy, values, skills and knowledge, passed on intentionally; cultural legacy, the principles, habits and mindset that define your family identity. Many families pass down money but fail to pass down discipline, unity, or wisdom. As a result, wealth disappears within a generation. The most powerful legacies are those that teach heirs, not just to inherit wealth, but to grow and protect it. 4. Turning wealth into impact. Your money can serve a larger mission. Some choose philanthropy, building schools, hospitals or community projects; social entrepreneurship, creating businesses that solve global challenges; art and culture, funding creativity that shapes generations. Each form of impact compounds. A school doesn't just teach children, it empowers a community. A scholarship doesn't just change one life, it can uplift an entire family tree. 5. The danger of aimless freedom. Freedom without purpose can be destructive. Many who achieve independence too early fall into the trap of idleness, endless vacations, indulgence, or numbing distractions. Aimless wealth creates decay. Purposeful wealth creates renewal. The key is to ask, what problem am I here to solve? What difference can I make now that I have the resources? 6. Wealth as a responsibility. Money is neutral. It takes on the character of its holder. With great resources comes great responsibility. Misused wealth corrupts and enslaves. Wisely used, it elevates not just you but everyone connected to you. If wealth builds walls, it isolates. If wealth builds bridges, it multiplies. Those who understand this principle see their role not just as wealth owners, but as wealth stewards, managers of resources entrusted to them for a higher purpose. Scaling impact with systems. Legacy is not built by accident. It's engineered with systems. Trust funds to protect assets for children and grandchildren. Foundations to institutionalize giving and ensure continuity. Family councils to keep values alive across generations. Business succession plans to keep enterprises strong after the founder is gone. Systems ensure that impact continues even when the individual is no longer present. 8. Redefining abundance. Abundance is not about the number of cars in your garage or the size of your estate. True abundance is the freedom to give generously, live meaningfully, and ensure stability for those who depend on you. Abundance means the inner fulfillment of legacy work. Money can buy comfort, but purpose buys fulfillment. Many wealthy individuals discover that their greatest satisfaction comes not from personal luxuries, but from seeing others thrive because of their investments in them. A life well lived is one where your influence outlasts your lifetime. 10. Case study. The investor of communities. Maria was a successful tech entrepreneur who sold her company for millions. Instead of retreating into luxury, she reinvested her resources into affordable housing projects in underprivileged areas. Within a decade, her projects had provided safe homes for thousands of families. Maria's wealth not only grew, but multiplied in its human return on investment. Her story is a reminder. Lasting wealth doesn't just accumulate, it transforms lives. 11. Preparing for Chapter 9. The wealth multiplier effect. Financial independence is personal, influence and legacy are global. But there's a next step. Using wealth as a multiplier, where investments, ideas, and leadership ripple out exponentially to change economies, industries, and even nations. Once you achieve independence, the highest use of money is influence, impact, and legacy. Chapter 9. The wealth multiplier effect. Expanding impact beyond yourself. Wealth, when left idle, is like a reservoir, large, powerful, but stagnant. But when it flows with direction and purpose, it becomes a river, nourishing everything in its path. At this stage of the journey, wealth is not just personal, not just generational, it is transformational. The wealth multiplier effect is about harnessing resources to create ripple effects that grow larger than the original investment. It is about turning influence into ecosystems and money into movements, one beyond legacy, towards systems of change. Legacy asks, what will I leave behind for those I love? The multiplier effect asks, what systems will I build that outlast me? A foundation can serve your community, but an ecosystem, a network of businesses, institutions and values, can uplift entire regions. This is where wealth builders stop being mere beneficiaries of the economy and become architects of the economy itself. How multiplication differs from addition. Most people think in terms of addition: earn more, save more, give more. Multipliers think differently. How can one seed create a forest? For example, funding a scholarship fund sustains generations of students. Establishing a school system reshapes a nation's education. Multiplication is about setting in motion self-sustaining cycles that continue to produce impact without constant input. 3. The role of visionary investments. The wealth multiplier effect is often achieved through visionary investments, decisions that seem small in the moment but generate exponential impact over time. Examples: technology startups that redefine industries, healthcare innovations that extend life expectancy, clean energy investments that change the environmental trajectory of nations. Visionary investments align profit with purpose, creating returns that are both financial and societal. The economics of ripples. Every financial choice sends ripples outward. A new business creates jobs. Jobs create spending power. Spending power fuels local economies. Economies foster innovation. This cycle continues, multiplying wealth far beyond the original investor. When you position yourself not just as a consumer but as a producer of opportunity, your money becomes a seed that keeps planting itself. 5. Case study. The wealth architect. Consider Andrew Carnegie. He built vast wealth in steel, but became even more influential by multiplying his impact through libraries, education, and cultural institutions. His money wasn't just spent, it was structured to keep serving society for generations. This is the essence of the multiplier effect. Money organized in systems that compound in both financial and human return. 6. Turning businesses into ecosystems. A true wealth multiplier doesn't stop at one business. They create ecosystems where multiple enterprises feed into one another, creating resilience and expansion. Example: a farmer invests in food processing. Processing creates distribution businesses. Distribution fuels export opportunities. Export revenue funds education in the community, from one farmer to an entire economy. That's multiplication. 7. Mentorship as a multiplier. And money is powerful, but so is knowledge. When you mentor leaders, teach principles and multiply mindsets, your impact grows exponentially. Think of it this way: $1 spent is gone, $1 invested grows. One mind empowered can create millions. By teaching others to think, build and manage wealth, you multiply your influence through the success of others. The global perspective. Multipliers don't think in terms of local only. They think globally. Like global trade allows small businesses to reach the world. Global investments allow wealth to flow across borders. Global causes, like climate change, education, or healthcare, invite solutions that ripple across nations. The wealth multiplier effect, at its peak, is about shaping not just your family, not just your nation, but the future of humanity. The principles of wealth multiplication. To multiply wealth's impact, 3 principles must be followed. At sustainability, build systems that endure without constant input. Scalability, design ventures that can grow exponentially, not just linearly. Succession, train the next generation to expand, not just maintain what you built. Without these principles, wealth shrinks back into addition, rather than multiplication. 10. The responsibility of multipliers. With greater influence comes greater responsibility. Misused, wealth can destabilize markets, exploit people, or damage ecosystems. But directed with wisdom, it can raise entire nations out of poverty, bring innovation to struggling sectors, and rewrite the story of entire generations. Wealth multipliers recognize that they are not just investors, they are stewards of the future. 11. The spiritual dimension. True multipliers understand that money alone is not enough. It must be guided by values, integrity, and vision. Multiplication without values leads to exploitation. Multiplication guided by principle leads to transformation. Wealth, at its highest purpose, is not a possession but a calling. Core insight. The wealth multiplier effect is the stage where personal success becomes public transformation. It is the process of turning independence into ecosystems, legacy into institutions, and money into movements. Chapter 10. The philosophy of lasting wealth. A life beyond riches. Wealth is not merely numbers in a bank account, titles on deeds, or shares in markets. True wealth is a philosophy of life, a way of seeing the world, a way of building, and a way of giving that transcends time. At this stage of our journey, we are no longer discussing how to earn money, save it, or even multiply it. We are asking a deeper question. What does it mean to live a wealthy life? Redefining wealth. The shift from having to being. Most people define wealth by what they have: cars, houses, businesses, accounts. But the wealthiest individuals define it by who they are: free, impactful, aligned, fulfilled. This shift from having to being is what separates temporary riches from lasting wealth. Having fades. A car depreciates. A building ages. A dollar loses value. Being endures. The person you become, the mindset, the skills, the vision, cannot be taken away. Lasting wealth begins when we stop asking, how much can I own? And start asking, how much can I become? E2. The 3 dimensions of lasting wealth. True wealth is multi-dimensional. To master it, you must grow in 3 domains. Material wealth. Assets, resources, and systems that provide security and freedom. Intellectual wealth. Knowledge, skills, and wisdom that fuel innovation and problem-solving. Relational wealth. Trust, networks, family bonds, and goodwill that amplify influence. Most pursue only the first. The wise pursue all 3. For wealth, without wisdom, collapses, and wealth, without relationships, isolates. The flow of wealth, from self to society. Lasting wealth flows like a river. At first, it nourishes you, financial independence. Then it nourishes your family, generational security. Next, it nourishes your community, multiplication and ecosystem. Finally, it nourishes the world, global transformation. Wealth that stops flowing stagnates. Wealth that flows outward becomes eternal. Or, mastering time. The true currency of wealth. Money is not the ultimate currency. Time is. If money cannot buy you more control of your time, it is not serving its true purpose. Consider, A rich man trapped in endless meetings is poor in freedom. A modestly wealthy person, with time to live, explore, and love, is rich. The philosophy of lasting wealth insists that money must buy back your life. Otherwise you are not free. You are only a prisoner of bigger numbers. 5. The inner game of wealth. Money can buy houses, but it cannot buy peace. It can buy influence, but not self-worth. That is why the inner game of wealth is as important as the outer. The inner game includes discipline, the ability to say no to distractions; clarity, the power to see long-term when others only see short-term; courage, the willingness to risk wisely and act boldly; gratitude, the practice of seeing abundance even before it multiplies. Without mastering this inner game, outer wealth will crumble under the weight of insecurity, greed, or fear. 6. Building wealth ecosystems, not empires. Empires are built to glorify individuals. Ecosystems are built to sustain generations. Empires collapse when the founder is gone. Ecosystems endure because they serve many. Lasting wealth requires us to think in terms of systems, not monuments. A monument says, "Look what I built." A system says, "Here is a structure that will keep building itself." Systems outlive people. Ecosystems outlive eras. 7. The responsibility of wealth stewards. To be wealthy is to be entrusted with power, and power, without responsibility, corrupts. Lasting wealth demands stewardship. It asks, how are you treating your employees? Are your investments healing or harming the planet? Do your decisions uplift communities or exploit them? A true steward sees wealth as a trust, not an entitlement. Freedom, fulfillment, and flow. The highest goal of wealth is not possession. It is freedom. Freedom. Freedom to choose your path. Freedom to say yes to what matters, and no to what doesn't. Freedom to create without fear of survival. But beyond freedom lies fulfillment, the deep sense that your wealth is making life meaningful, both for you and for others. And beyond fulfillment lies flow, that rare state where your wealth, purpose, and actions move in harmony. This is the summit of wealth philosophy, when you no longer chase money, but instead money chases your purpose. 9. The wealth paradox. Having everything by letting go. Here is a paradox. Those who clutch wealth too tightly often lose it, but those who release it wisely see it grow. When you hoard, money controls you. When you invest, money serves you. When you give, money honors you. True wealth multiplies in the open hand, not the closed fist. 10. The circle of wealth. At the end of the journey, wealth comes full circle. You began seeking survival. You grew into independence. You expanded into legacy. You multiplied into ecosystem. The wealthiest people are not those with the most possessions, but those who use what they have to create freedom, impact, and meaning both now and long after they are gone. Core insight. Lasting wealth is not built by chasing money, but by embodying a philosophy that aligns freedom, purpose, and impact. Money becomes the tool, but you the steward, the builder, the visionary are the true wealth.